Hi, my name is Jessy White. I'm a learning specialist and a shared duty dorm parent, as well as an advisor of 7th graders. As a learning specialist, I work one-on-one with students who have an individualized learning program based on their needs so that they can be successful in their other academic classes. All of the learning specialists have some area of expertise and training. My area is direct instruction of reading. Many of the things that they're working on are related to the English language, whether it's learning how to read. Sometimes it's a student that needs more support with writing as well. So it may be a day student or it may be an international student who's working with ESL. A big part of what we do is teach skills and skill development. So what we work with them on, what we teach them, should help them in all of their classes. So for example, one of the skills we might help them with is note-taking, or learning how to study for a quiz, or writing a paragraph. These are skills that are going to help them across the board. At the beginning of the year, I work with my students looking at their learning profile to establish goals for them. And then throughout the year, I assess those goals and make adjustments as needed. One of the things I love about being a learning specialist is every day is different. You never know what a student might bring to each class. So I always have the plan of the learning goals that I'm working on with students, but sometimes they come with a very immediate need that we need to help them with, whether it's studying for a quiz they have coming up or some other academic concern that they have. So we always have kind of two things going. A lot of my ESL students have challenges understanding the English language. One of the big challenges for them is understanding all of the different nuances of the vocabulary that we have. So they may know the meaning of a word in one setting, but they don't know all the different applications of the word in many different settings. So that I really enjoy having those conversations with students and helping them make those connections. I love it when that light bulb goes on, when you show it to them in a certain way, and then they realize, oh, okay, I get it now. So, and it's fun for me to learn more about the English language as I'm helping them understand it further, because it really is a very challenging language. Students that I work with, they come to me just like they would come to any class. I see my students 4 or 5 times a week, and I'll see that same student all year long. All of my students have a set program that we're working with. For example, for some of my elementary school students, I use a very specific reading program. With some of my ESL students, we work on specific vocabulary, but it's always geared to what the student really needs. And I love the flexibility of that, being able to learn about my students and what they're interested in, and so tailor some of those individual classes to their needs. Something that's great about the Learning Center is that it creates a community of learners. The layout of it, all the students can see other students like them. Everybody is working on things to help them be stronger learners. As soon as they come here, I really think they enjoy being here because they see that this is a caring community. It really is a place where they can be seen, and we can get to know them very well here. One of my favorite things about being a learning specialist is my chance to work with students one-on-one. I feel like in that setting, for a number of reasons, they really shine. And I think not only can you really get to know the students, but you can really get to the heart of what they need to succeed. I love being a learning specialist because I love seeing the progress our students make, especially with our ESL students when they come here and as 6th graders or even 5th graders, and they know very little English, and then you see them leave as 9th graders and they're fully independent and integrated into their classes, and they feel such a sense of accomplishment. So it is very rewarding to see their growth and progress. I grew up in Buffalo, New York. One of the things I loved about living there was the diversity of cultures and communities, and it's actually one of the reasons why I wanted to bring my own children to this school. Living in a rural area, I live in Woodstock, and there isn't a lot of cultural diversity in our area, but at Rectory there definitely is, and I feel like that is an invaluable part of a child's growth, is to be exposed to that experience. That's actually been one of the greatest gifts that the school has given my own children. Teaching is in my background. I come from a family of teachers. So I have uncles who teach, my dad taught, my sister teaches currently, my mom did some teaching. So it really is in my blood. And what drew me personally to teaching was I had been working as an AmeriCorps member in the urban schools in Providence, and I really saw that there was a need there, and I really wanted to be able to give students the same kind of inspiring education that I remember having as a kid. I got my master's in teaching from Wheelock College, which is now part of Boston University. For undergraduate, I went to Gettysburg College. I majored in philosophy, and that really is still my first love. I really see a connection with philosophy and what I do now. As a kindergarten teacher, I loved hearing my students become little philosophers themselves. They would just spontaneously describe something in such a beautiful way. They weren't trying to be philosophers, it was just how they saw the world, and they were very uninhibited. And I often wanted to record the things that they would say because they were just beautiful and really profound. And I see that in my middle school students as well. Sometimes when my students who are ESL students, they are learning the English language, sometimes they have very philosophical ways of describing a word in their language. A favorite quote of mine comes from Rachel Carson, and she said that each child really just needs one adult to help them keep that sense of wonder all the way through their lives. I try to be that adult for all my students to help them keep that sense of wonder, the sense of wonder that they had as small children, and help them keep it continuously through their lives. Something that I would love to try to do at Rectory is to create an elective with the middle school students teaching philosophy to the elementary school students. So I had learned about an idea a long time ago where using children's picture books like Frog and Toad and others, Velveteen Rabbit, really going through those different areas of philosophy and having the middle school students teach that to the elementary school students. I think that would just be an amazing, beautiful experience for them and for me. One of my favorite things to do when I'm not at Rectory is go to Maine with my family. My uncles live there, my parents come to Maine with us. We all just love being there near the salt air, being out in nature. It's very healing. What's special about Rectory is the relationships and the community. There's the teachers that you always connect with, and that really gives Rectory such a family feel that you might not find somewhere else. Both my children went through Rectory, and my daughter still communicates with Mrs. Weigel, and they still have connections with the friends that they had when they were here. There are all kinds of teachers here, and there's all kinds of students here. It doesn't matter how unique your child is, what they're interested in. There's always going to be someone who matches with your child and sees them for who they really are.